You know what's an ugly word? Algorithm. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Sarah Sutton. I'm an indie author of 2 books, including my recently released young adult fake relationship romance titled Out of My League. But I also self-published my first book ever, which is a young adult friends to lovers romance this past January, and it is titled What Are Friends For? You can find the links to both of those books in the description box below. Welcome back to my channel. So I asked you guys recently over on Instagram what you would like to see on this YouTube channel, and Angelina actually put in the request of how to grow your Instagram following. Now I want to preface this by saying I am by no means an expert on Instagram. What I'm going to talk to you about today is found from research and trial and error on my end, and what I found works for me and what didn't really work for me. But before we hop into my tips, if you want to give this video a like and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. So, algorithm. It's an ugly word. It's a word that makes me feel like I want to run away from it screaming. Algorithm and SEO, my brain does not comprehend those words. But since becoming a writer, since joining the platforms in 2018, I found out that algorithm and SEO, even though I don't really get them all the time, it is beneficial for your platforms, especially for YouTube. I've been learning so much about my YouTube algorithm and SEO and all that stuff from Catherine Manning. If y'all ever follow her, check her out. I never really knew how to apply it to any of my platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, I still have no idea how Facebook works, and YouTube. But knowing and understanding how to work your algorithm to make it work the best for you is super important. So let's talk about the business side of things first. And I want to say again, like, this is all my experience in Instagram. I don't know if this works like for sure every single time, but this is the way I experienced it and found that it worked for me. So I'm pretty sure if you have a business account, you will be able to check out your insights. So you'll go to your I'll do a screen recording. 3, 2, 1. So you'll go to your Instagram and you'll type on your profile. You'll type on these 3 lines at the top, and here you'll see insights. So you'll tap the insights, go to the audience tab, scroll all the way down, and you'll see certain times of the day where your insights are the best. So for me, on Saturdays, you can see that 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. are my best days. If you tap on it, it'll give you specific numbers. They'll tell you which days are the best to post and things like that. Those are your prime posting times. You don't always have to stick within that time frame, but it is your key time where you get the most engagement, and engagement helps build your post. So the more people like and comment on your post, the more people are going to see it. The more Instagram is going to boost that post to the world. So it is really important to kind of know when your audience is most likely alert and awake and ready to respond to you, because you want to target that time frame. If you post at a dead time, like for me, I wouldn't post at 3 a.m. because nobody is awake. Nobody would comment on that post, so there's no engagement. No engagement means no boosting in the Instagram algorithm, which means that post is most likely going to be lost in the sea of photos. Okay, sorry for the lighting change. I think that's better though. I feel like I'm not overexposed this way. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you get engagement on your posts? Because they'll post something, but they'll get no comments, no likes, and it leaves them feeling, okay, why did I post in the first place? Now, there are a few things that you can do to boost interaction for your post. I feel like I'm just oddly done right now. Am I not oddly done? Sorry. Is that better? I feel like I just look so wild. Like, I feel like it looks like I don't have a nose. Okay, we're just gonna try it. We're just gonna leave it like that. Number 1, in your caption, ask a question. So I remember I posted once about my favorite romance tropes. And what did I do? In the very first line of my caption, I put in all caps with an emoji to like grab the attention, question for you. And then I skipped down, so my question would actually be under the see more button. So whoever wants to read it would have to tap see more to see what the question is, and by that point they're typically hooked in and they might comment. Asking questions that engages your followers really builds a connection that way. It makes people feel seen and heard. If I'm going to be completely honest, my social media platform is all about connections. I want to make connections with each and every one of my followers. and have a conversation and build that friendship. So when people comment, I make sure to respond to every single one of them if the comment is substantial enough to warrant a response. If they say congratulations, I will always say thank you. If they say I love this, I will respond with an emoji or with a heart, you know? It's something that shows them that I value the time that they took to leave a comment and I appreciate it. Simply liking it and moving on can be okay, but it doesn't cultivate that relationship. It doesn't entice that person who commented the first time to come back and comment the second time on your post. There's no connection being built there. There's no friendship being built. There's no conversation. And what you really want to have is a conversation with your followers. Also, the key thing about commenting back on people's comments on your post is even if you leave a comment, that still counts as overall total comments on that post. And if you remember, the more comments and the more likes you have on your post, the more Instagram is going to boost it in their algorithm. So that is such a good thing. So commenting back on people's comments is a win-win because it boosts you and it builds friendships. So I love it. Now, one thing that's really important is to mix up the hashtags. I was so guilty of this back when I first started. I just used the same hashtags over and over. And what Instagram does is they think that's a bot-like behavior. So they might put restrictions on your account. I've heard of the term shadow banning, but I'm not totally sure what that means. But they won't boost your post to as many people because you're using the same hashtags and it just looks like spam behavior. So what you want to do is you want to mix up your hashtags as often as possible. I have about 4 or 5 lists in my notes app that has 30 hashtags each, and you want to use all 30 of your hashtags. It does take some time to type them all out, but if you have them in your notes app like I do, it's easy to copy and paste. But you want to have 30 because 30 is your max amount, and you reach so many more people that way. If you use 1 or 2 hashtags, you're not opening yourself to the biggest audience possible, and you will miss out on engagements and interactions. And by mixing them up, it will make Instagram happy. It also opens you to new people to reach, so that's really good too. Okay, this is the question I don't really enjoy talking about because I suck at it myself, but it is the feed. What I learned pretty quickly on is that people like engaging with stuff that interests them. Duh. This might sound a little weird, it might sound a little harsh, but I make sure to never ever post a Instagram photo if it doesn't have anything to do with my writing business, my books, or my work in progresses, or what I'm reading. It is always literary related. If you go on my Instagram, you will totally see that almost every single one of my posts looks writing related from the outside. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this because Instagram is, people want to be personable and personal on Instagram and be themselves, but I'm not asking you to be somebody other than yourself. The way I look at it is from a business standpoint. You want to reach readers and other writers, right? I learned early on my writing and reading and literary posts did so much better than my fuzzy sock posts. So readers of the post had something to glean from that, and talking about my writing experience opens the door for them to talk about theirs, and that builds a connection that way because they can connect with me on that. We can find common ground that way. But if I've posted a picture of my fuzzy socks because I love my fuzzy socks and I want to share them with the world, that might get attention, but that also might turn some people off. It's all about what you're comfortable with and what you think personally, but for me, I only do personal posts if I can wrap them back into the writing related world. I think that is the key way to keep people engaged with your content, keep them interested in your writing, because for me, my Instagram is a business account, so people are going there for my writing business. I've heard of some people having a business account and a personal account, and if you wanted to do that, that's totally fine. That would totally work. And what I sometimes do is I will put my more personal things in my stories because that doesn't kind of mess up the aesthetic of the feed on your profile. And it doesn't always have to be writing related in your stories because obviously you can't attach a huge caption in your stories. So it can be a snapshot of your life. I know some people are going to disagree with me on this, but that's just what I have found works for me. Whenever I post personal photos that don't have anything to do with writing, they don't go as well as my writing related photos. They don't perform as well. I don't get as many likes or comments, and I don't get as many interactions. So not many people actually see that post because, like we said, with no likes and no comments, Instagram says no to the algorithm boost. My battery is about to die. So my camera died. So we're gonna finish this video over on my cell phone. I filmed the outro on my camera, but we are now on my phone, so yay. We're actually getting to the end, so it's totally okay. Keep in mind, whenever you're on Instagram, you always want to be yourself. So if you don't like some of these tips, don't apply them. It's totally okay. This is just my experience, like I said. Don't forget that people follow you on Instagram because they want to follow you. So whatever posts you make, they're seeing it and they're enjoying it. But if you switch over to a business account and look at your insights, it really does help to see what people are liking and what people are engaging with the most. But it is really helpful to have those numbers to look at that data, because without the data, you're kind of just in the dark a little bit. And setting up a business account is completely free, and it's, for when I did it, it was really easy. So, and it's easy to switch back if you don't enjoy it. But yeah, the takeaway of this video is be yourself, cultivate relationships, be engaging. The key part about having Instagram followers and building your platform there is to be a likable, personable person. So if you can give other authors and readers content for them to consume and grow from, that's really important and really good. For the end of this video, I want you to head over to Instagram and I want you to make a writing related post. Whether that's a writing quote, a quote from your work in progress, a post about your updates on your work in progress, or an update about your book. I want you to make something writing related. I want you to have the first line in your post a question. It can be any question you want, like how is your work in progress going, or what is the title of your work in progress, or what is the last line you wrote in your work in progress. It can be anything you want, but I want you to put it as a question in the very first line, and then indent a few times. Oh, and I forgot to mention, indenting is really easy. I have an app that does it for me. I think it's called Space, but it helps add those little spaces to your captions, and having those spaces actually creates a lot of white space for the reader's eye, and it is super important to have white space because it makes it easier to digest. What was I saying? Oh, the challenge. Duh. Put a question as the very top line, skip a few lines, then go into your story. And then at the bottom of the caption, ask that question again. And then you can either post your hashtags in your caption or in the comments. I always post them in the comments because I think that looks cleaner. I haven't figured out if it is more beneficial one way or the other. I have done a test and I haven't found any conclusive results. So wherever you want to put your captions, but make sure you have 30 of them. I challenge you to do that. Do that, tag me in it so I can see you trying out this challenge and I can repost it and we can see if it works, if my tips actually work. They work for me, but I want to see if they work for you guys too. I love talking about algorithms, and even though I don't always get them, I don't really understand them all the time, but I love learning more about them and doing research on them. So yeah, I kind of talked about this on a blog post I did back in March, but I want to start integrating those blog posts over into videos. Stay tuned for more interesting videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and if you liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because those two things really help boost me in the YouTube algorithm. So if you liked it, be sure to tap that button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on Wednesday with our live stream writing sprints, or on Friday with another video. Bye.